Hey, there we are. We're in. We're in, baby. Can you guys hear me all right? To be fair to YouTube, this one, I think it was my software's problem. Because when I went to restart it, it didn't want to die. I had to manually kill the task. So maybe it wasn't YouTube against us this time. Although they did change the stream key. They seem to be doing that a lot lately. Just changing it. I feel led to pray Psalm 3. I don't have my document camera hooked up, so I'm just going to read it to you guys, all right? We'll read it for Hashem. Let's open with Psalm 3. Mizmor el-Daviv. V'vocho mipnei Avshalom beno. A psalm of David when he fled from the presence of Avshalom, his son. Adonai, ma rabu tzarai. Oh, my lords, how numerous are my adversaries. Rabim kamim alai. How many are those who stand against me? Rabim omerim l'nafshi. How many are those who say to my life, or say to my soul, Ein yeshuata lo ve'Elohim selah. There is no salvation for him from God. Selah. Ve'ata Adonai magen ba'adi. But you, O Adonai, are a shield in my life. Or we could read with magan ba'adi, are a suzerain in my duration. Kevodi umerim roshi, my glorious one, and the one who lifts up my head. Koli el Adonai ekra. With my voice unto Adonai I will call. V'ya'aneni mehakodsho selah. And he answers me from his holy mountain. Selah. Ani shachavti. Va'ish shana. I myself laid down and I slept, presumably the sleep of death. Hekitzoti. But I awoke. Ki Adonai yismacheni. Because Adonai supports me. Lo ira merivvot am. I will not fear from the shafts of the people or from the myriads of people. Asher saviv shatu alai. Who are surrounding, set against me. Kuma Adonai hoshi'eni Elohai. Ki hikita et kol oyevai lechi. Shine rasha'im shibarta. Arise, O Lord. Save me, or give me the victory. Give me the Yeshua. Oh my God, Elohai. Ki hikita. Oh, that you would smite et kol oyevai, all of my enemies. Lechi, on the jaw. Shine, that the teeth of Reshaim, of the wicked ones. Shibarta, that you would utterly smash to pieces. Ladonai haishua al ammecha v'chatecha selah. Yeshua belongs to Adonai, or the victory belongs to Adonai. Over his people may be your blessing. Selah. All right, hallelujah. That's our opening prayer. How is the sound? I'm showing a lot of red. Is it in the red? Are we clipping? Can you guys let me know what the sound is like over there? Hold on just a sec. Something is biting my toe mercilessly. Who are you? Couldn't even see it. Don't like to kill things if I don't have to, but that was a small little guy, whatever it was. Okay, so shalom. Well, you guys are evaluating the sound. Shalom. Gary, Harrison, Thea, Vicky, Troy, Jeff, Pei, Aharon, Betty, Michael. I always want to say Michael Burke. I want to say the full name for some reason. Tet, Seek Meekness, Mentat Assassin, Vicky. Hold on, my menu's popping up here. Why are you doing that? Go away. Alec, Shalom Achi, Kenneth, Tet. All right. Did I miss anybody? Brenda. There you are. Just scrolling. Wow, lots of activity in the chat. Very nice. Sound is clear? Good. Okay. And please say shalom to us as you guys come in if you're coming in later. The sound is okay? Okay, so it's showing red over here, but I'll just leave it. That's good. I do have it boosted so that it will be loud for those of you in cars and stuff like that. All right, tonight we are continuing with Exodus chapter 28. We'll be starting with verse 11, and you should see that on my screen. Let me just get my mouse where we can see it. All right, here. And let's see if this is going to work tonight. I'm just curious. Let's see. Everything is working. You guys have been praying hard. Okay, there's a delay. That's fine. Yeah, I don't know what it's doing now, but the fact that I was able to press the button and get the color I wanted. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who hears prayer. Okay, Harrison's in your car. Great. Michael says, you know you're doing things right when the hordes of hell come against you. Well put. Well put. All right. Here we are. Verse 11. Maaseh charash. Maaseh charash. And this is a construct chain. This is one of the hey words that doesn't revert to a tav when we put in construct because it never was a tav. So let me just... Yay, I've got my aqua color back. I am excited. I changed nothing in that software. So I really think this was spiritual. Nothing in that software changed. I wanted to update. There was no update available. I wanted to uninstall PowerPoint and reinstall. It would not let me uninstall it. Can you imagine? I used to be a programmer, so it's not like I'm like sitting here, ooh, how do I use this computer thingy? I realized, okay, I could wipe the whole thing and do it like that, but I just, that's a lot of time to reinstall everything. So anyway, it's working. So that's got to be the intercessory prayers. I really appreciate it, guys. All right, so let's look here. Maaseh. Now, you remember we've discussed a little bit. What do you do when you've got a word and you recognize the root, right? Like here we can recognize the root. Ayin, seen, and hey, right? Well, that's one of our fun verbs we see all the time. Like every single session has asa. So if you haven't learned this word yet, learn it now. Learn it. It's all over the place. This is a very high frequency, the verbal root that is. Ayin, seen, hey. The asa is to do or to make. All right? Now, remember, when you see a word that you don't know, and it starts with a mem, and you recognize the verbal root, so you think it's probably some kind of noun, right? It's some kind of thing, and that's what we have going on here. So here we've got let's do it like this. What color to choose? Oh, just go with red. So here we've got the mem, right? A good rule of thumb, if you don't know all the words there are to know yet, which is most of us, then what you can do is you can think, how would the verbal root that I do know, how would that root, go away menu, how would that root, the ayin, seen, hey, use this word? So it's usually something that is used by the verb or like a product of that asa, or sometimes it's a profession, like someone doing the thing, okay? So it just turns out that a maaseh is the product of asa. It's something that you do, something which has been made, right? So you could say like the handiwork. Oftentimes we'll actually see handiwork. The official way to say handiwork is maaseh yadayim, work of hands. Okay, maaseh yadayim. So this is maaseh charash. Charash. And charash is an artisan. I still have some technical issues. I'm done writing, but it's still writing on my screen. So sorry if it's a little sloppy today, but that is okay. I'm happy to have the colors. It's worth it to have the colors. Maaseh charash, the work of an artisan. Evan. Evan is a stone. If you got a friend named Evan, we had an Evan in here before. The name means stone. Hey, Shalom Raya over in the UK. Thanks for checking in, Achuti. Evan, a stone of pituchei chotam. So we have another construct chain here. Stone of pituchei. Pituchei is from pituchim, right? Pituchim. Remember, you've got the mem in the plural. I know that's kind of hard to see. Let's see if my zoom's working. Oh, yeah, wonderful. Look at that. Boom. Although I didn't choose the best color. But im, being the plural masculine ending, when we get rid of it, it means of, right? So Evan, a stone of pituchei, this means engravings. Chotam, a seal of a seal or sealed, not the animal. And not the musician either. Tifatach. Now this is interesting. So tifatach, a PL form, is from the verb patach, to open. This PL form means to engrave. I guess the idea is you're opening up part of the stone, right? You're kind of opening the stone. You're romancing the stone. Sorry, obscure 80s reference to you young'uns. Okay, we're stuck. It doesn't want to zoom out. Zoom out, I said. There we go. So, tifatach, you shall engrave. Et shetei ha'avanim, another construct chain. So, shtayim is the word. That's two. Hey, shalom, Annie. Drop the mem, so it's two of ha'avanim, of the stones. And before we go on to this, I want to come over to here. I had circled it in red so I wouldn't forget that I made a little note on this. So the Dead Sea Scrolls Paleo Hebrew Exodus differs with this. So we have a variance in the manuscript that it's not marked in BHS. So people ask me sometimes, what are the little letters here? This is BHS, Bibli Hebräische Stuttgartensia. Ja, das ist was das heißt. So that's a critical Hebrew Bible made by the Deutsche Bibelgesellschaft, the German Bible Society, and it's really useful for kind of a spot check, just a quick check to see when there are different variances. They're not fully incorporating Dead Sea Scroll stuff, though. For that you need BHQ, Biblia Hebraica Quinta, the next one that's coming out. And some of the books are out. Genesis is out, and some of the wisdom literature, and it's kind of all over the place what's out. And anyway, even if you don't have it, if you can still find these things another way. For example, there's a book called Discoveries in the Judean Desert that processes a lot of what was discovered in Qumran. And here it turns out that in the scroll 4Q Paleo Exodus, it's called. So this is it's using the Phoenician script, right? People call it Paleo Hebrew, but it's just Phoenician. You know, it's like Phoenician written like it's in italics or something. Okay. So people kind of make a big deal out of the script. Oh, it's the sacred, more holy script. It's so much better. It's the original Hebrew script. But even the script we borrowed from somebody else. So even the Paleo Hebrew. So don't get so crazy about the Paleo Hebrew. I know there's some groups out there that it's okay to like it. It's okay to find it interesting and to want to learn it, and no problem. But just know that it adds zero value to the meaning of words. I won't get into this too much because I have talked about it before, but I do want to repeat that for anybody new. Paleo Hebrew script, in other words, the Phoenician script, it is Phoenician. We borrowed it from Phoenician. Paleo Hebrew script adds nothing to the meaning of words, to trying to see the nuance of the word. So despite what some of those teachers out there are trying to tell you, and it's very attractive to people because, hey, pictures. Everybody likes pictures, right? You know, it's a head, and I'm coming at this as somebody who's studied on an amateur level, studied on my own ancient Egyptian, right? The hieroglyphs, the language of the hieroglyphs. I got several grammars on hieroglyphs. On Middle Egyptian, it's called Middle Egyptian grammar. Oh, there's some Old Egyptian too in the mix, but mostly Middle Egyptian. And in that language, it has meaning. But what the picture is a picture of, when you're reading a word, it can influence it can nuance the word, right? So, like, if I don't like you, I can write your name with a bunch of snakes and spiders and stuff like that. Puppy dog tails, right? And if I do like you, then maybe I can use a flower and, birds and some other things, right? But not little birds, because that denotes bad. So you can do that. Hey, so glad to have you here. Is it Lee here? Glad you're here, Lee here. Maybe Lee Hare. Where are you from? So glad you're here. So glad you're Lee here. I'm sorry, I can't get off that. So with the Paleo Hebrew, people, they teach, like there's this one guy who, his qualifications are that he was an Italian language teacher, right, in the States. And then now he teaches Paleo Hebrew. He's got dictionaries and stuff. And I don't want to say the name because I'm not sure that this guy means poorly, right? It might just be, he's just confused. But there's a whole bunch of people following this person that think that his teaching is that if the word, for example, has a rosh in it, well, that used to be a head, so there's something about head in the meaning of the word. If it's got teeth, the sheen, well, sheen were teeth, so there might be some kind of nuance from sheen in the word, but it just does not work. It works in Egyptian because we got 5,000 common glyphs that were in common usage, right? And you can select a glyph that makes the same sound as another glyph when, say, writing someone's name, for example. You could do that. You could nuance it with toads and snails and puppy dog tails. But you cannot do it in Hebrew. We only have 22 letters. We don't even have as many. We were poor in letters. We don't even have as many letters as English. And nowhere near as many as Russian. And just forget Thai. So that's that. Don't get sucked into the Paleo Hebrew nonsense. Like you're going to learn some hidden or secret meaning in the word because it doesn't exist. That's not the way Hebrew worked. Egyptian, yes. I don't mean Arabic, like modern Egyptian, but the Hammeritic language Egyptian, or some call it Sino-Hammeritic. By the way, it's kind of cool. It's got a lot of the same suffixes we have in Hebrew. They're just written differently, like water for new and stuff like this. Harrington says, we used to study with a fellow who was very keen on the paleo. Yeah, it sucks a lot of people in. And the only thing I can think of is, well, it's got a lot of pictures, right? I mean, that's probably why I fell in love with hieroglyphs. We all like pictures. I mean, when you're a kid and someone gave you a book, what's the first thing you did? You flip through to see, does it have pictures, or is it one of those books? Right? And I don't mean that to attack anyone's intellect. I'm just saying, especially visual people, we're attracted to seeing drawings and sketchings and, oh, how cool if that can affect the language. Also, it lends itself to creative types, right? So to people who are creative, they can be pretty good at seeing meaning, extra meaning, where there is none, right? Where the text just is not saying that. And I used to have trouble expressing this to people when I debunk this stuff. And then finally, I was so happy. Dr. Michael Heiser, may he rest in peace, and Dr. Michael, the Hebrew Christian guy, I can't think of his last name. He's got the show The Line of Fire. He's a real pillar against a lot of the wokeism and stuff. Why can't I remember his last name? Anyway, we'll just call him Mike. Anyway, both of them, they came out against this. They refer to it as soothsaying. And these are heavy-hitting scholars, so don't take it lightly. And they're both very, very, very educated in biblical Hebrew. Well, Dr. Heiser's with the Lord right now, so he's probably the most educated in it. But Michael Brown, thank you, Myra. How can I forget Michael Brown? He's like so famous and such a pillar of defense of the faith and everything. Yeah, I can't believe I couldn't think of his last name. Anyway, so yeah, and they both are just so against this as well, right? It's even calling it soothsaying. Okay, so anyway, I know I wasn't going to talk too long about it, but like it comes up so often and people get sucked into it. I believe it's a distraction from the devil. Not that it's bad to learn Paleo Hebrew, but the whole idea to spend your time learning that this word could mean that because it's got that picture. No, the prophet used that letter because that's the letter that made the R sound. He chose that letter because it's the letter that made the sh sound, and there's no other letters that make that sound. There's no choice going on. Should I use teeth or should I use eyeballs? You don't have a choice. The way that it sounds, and faith comes from hearing, right? The way that it sounds, that's what the prophet used. That's why there's no big deal when we went into Babylon. Hey, cool script over here. Let's use that script. And we updated our script. We take the script, the Aramaic, one of the Aramaic scripts, because it worked better for our needs. And it was more intelligible than the old Phoenician script. Let's call it what it is, the Phoenician script. So yeah, don't get sucked into that, guys. No problem, Gary. Thanks for letting me know. Glad to have you here live, of course, Achi. Harrison says it seems like people try to use Paleo to make them set apart from other teachers. A tool is a tool, right? Yeah, sure. Well, like I said, if you're a creative person, you can talk all day long about one word because of the pictures it's got in there. But it's such... Again, we only have 22 letters. and English is the same way. The letter A in English came down to us from Greek alpha that came from Paleo Aleph. But you never see anybody reading some Shakespeare and say, ooh, why did he choose the word with the letter A in it? Is it about headship because it was about strength because of the ox? Because Aleph is an ox? Ooh, nobody does this because it's insane. It's insane. I guarantee the prophet wasn't thinking, what's this word going to look like? He's speaking the words that the Lord told him to say, and half the people he's talking to or more were illiterate, and they're not going to see it in pictures anyway. They're just listening to it. And then, even if they weren't illiterate, nobody has a Bible. You have to be a millionaire to have a Bible. So people just show up. They show up at the shul, at the synagogue, or before the synagogues, they show up at one of the festivals. They hear the Torah being read. They don't get to see the pretty pictures. It doesn't matter. You could write it with Latin letters if you like. You could use one of the transliteration schemes to capture, the T with a dot under it for the tet and all that kind of stuff. That's fine, as long as you know what the word is. And so people get distracted and they do that, and they waste time where they could be learning vocabulary or actually learning how the words work, right? Like we're doing. So they can understand what the text says, instead of trying to do this weird sidestep pseudo-cryptograph approach, which... Again, show me one peer-reviewed paper on this. There have been no submissions to any kind of academia that I'm aware of. And I have several hundreds of academic volumes of various Hebrew papers and stuff and collections. Probably, anyway, I don't want to get into it. Might come off wrong. And I haven't seen anything about this ever. No one has ever presented a peer-reviewed claim that the pictures add value to the meanings of the words. And I'll just asterisk that with maybe you could say bait in the beginning, like one of the inseparable prepositions, because it looks like a house and it means in, but that could also work homophonically from the sound, because it sounds like the word for house, right? So you don't need it to be a picture. All right. Yeah, exactly, Harrison. It distracts from the real study, which is what we're doing, right? So we can understand the text. If it added value, I would be all over that. Like I said, I have a giant book on hieroglyphs here sitting next to me. Sir Alan Gardner's. It's just a murderous book. And I love it. I love it. I love those kinds of languages. They're so interesting. So if Hebrew did that too, trust me, friends, I would be all over it and sharing it with you on top of what we do now. We would have a Paleo Day where we're just doing that. Okay? Hold on. My tablet just did something here. Hold on. A little too excited, maybe. All right. I didn't plan to talk long about it, and there we go. We talked about it. I think it's important, though. Okay, I'm just trying to get my second screen connected. There we go. There goes the technical issue. Come on. B'Shem Yeshua HaMashiach. Not connecting. Oi. Kidding me? Let's do. Come on. There it is. Hallelujah. Boom. We're back. I do need to close PowerPoint though because it's on the wrong screen now. Oh, it came back. Yay. Hallelujah. Okay, let's get back to our text. Well, let me see here. Seek meekness says not good understanding, but good close to being able to read, speak it. Good. All right. So it was interesting. We saw that the Paleo Hebrew text from Qumran has yiftach here, which means let him inscribe. Instead of tifatach, you shall inscribe. So that's a noteworthy variance, textual variance, right? Who's doing the inscribing? All right, Lee here. Sorry I didn't do so much Hebrew. Now we're into the Hebrew. Et shetei ha'avanim, the two of the stones. So that's another construct, chain. Let's see if it'll let me draw that. Oh, it's back to not working. Ah! I should have used it while it lasted. Look at that. Maybe I can do it down here. Wow, 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 wow. Cannot draw anymore, huh? Okay, I'm going to try to fix this. Fine, we'll just keep reading. I won't annotate right now. Two of the avanim, stones, al, upon, or with, shemot, benei Yisrael. Here we have a long construct chain. Oh, yeah. PowerPoint is dead. PowerPoint is dead. Amazing. I have a pretty good computer, too. So in case you're wondering, we had donors last year, helped us get this. It was a used like new. And, it's pretty good. So it's not like, it's got 32 gig of RAM, and it has a discrete graphic processor. So it's not like I've got some clunker here. So this shouldn't be happening. Let's see, PowerPoint, come back. Here we go. Nuked it. All right. 48% memory being used. Shouldn't be too bad. Okay, and very sorry this is happening. See, this is why I pre-record. Let's show. That's fine. Unbelievable. And of course, PowerPoint doesn't remember which monitor to go to. Okay, we're back. Jeez Louise. Now I can draw again. That's cool. The two of these stones. Al with Shemot benei Yisrael. Now the construct. Shemot is names. Names of. So the names of the children of Israel. Or in this case, it's the sons of Israel. Mesubot. Mesubot. So this is interesting. Mesubot, it's from the verb zahav. Zahav, which is we had earlier in the psalm about the enemies who are saviv, who are around, right? Let me pull you guys back up. I don't see your comments. Oh, cool. Gary's back and catching up at 1.5. Nice. Glad you're back. And anyway, so this is musavot. This is a pu'al participle plural form from zahav. So PL is like an intensive form of being around. Pu'al is a passive of that. So musavot is like being all around, right? So this has to do with, in this case, jewelry. So it's being set, or perhaps plate, rings, something like this, right? Mishbetzot, zahav. Settings of zahav, gold, another construct chain. I hope you guys are starting to recognize the constructs as they show up, to see that pattern. Ta'aseotam. So the tav at the beginning here, this guy is telling us, no, I said cyan. I selected cyan. I pressed cyan, I got purple. It's all right. Those kinds of problems I don't mind. Tav reminds us of Ata. You shall asa. Pardon me, in this case, aseh. Ta'aseh. You shall make otam. Otam. Make them. Sorry, that's a bit sloppy. I was trying to write quickly, but anyway. Zoom in for the cell phone users. Ta'aseh, you shall make otam them. Verse 12. Actually, I think I have a separate slide for 12. There we go. Nice. Oh, really? You're having buffering? Is that just you, Betty? Is anybody else experiencing buffering? Let me know in the chat. Well, yeah, let me turn on my Patreon. Boom! If you'd like to contribute to what we're doing, you can do it there. Patreon.com/Hebrew Literacy. Seek Meekness says, good over there. Nothing by Harrison. I'm sorry, Betty. I think it's you. It's on your end. And also not with pay. So we've covered 3 continents there. Sorry about that. It's on your end. I mean, I'm not that sorry. I'm kind of glad. Harrison, ich glaube, dass ich habe Schadenfreude. Oh, there's another country. Raya's okay over there. And Mira's okay. Okay. By the way, Betty, thank you for telling me. I'm not saying don't tell me, guys, when you have it, but I am happy that it's not me. Yeah, ganz genau. All right, verse 12. V'samta et shetei ha'avanim. Okay, samta. That ta at the end reminds us of a ta. Right? So you can have ta at the beginning of it at the end. I won't get into the whole reason for that right now. I just want you to see the pattern. Right? When you see it, recognize, oh, that's the ta from ata. There it is. And you can really recognize it with even the vowel, right? It's there. This guy. Ta. Ta. There he is. And some is a little bit hard to recognize. This is from seem. Seem. So the verb is seem, yod, mem. Seem. Seem. To set or to place. It can also mean give. So, because it's what we call a hollow verb, that is when the middle letter is either a vav, an ancient wow that would be, or a yod, oftentimes those guys will go away. And you can see it's missing here. We don't have it, right? There's no yod in there. He took a hike. So samta is you set, but then we have our vav conversive. Da, 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 da. I am so glad I'm able to use my stylus and just select my hot colors again. I do not know what happened. Maybe it's like spy software or something and hooked into it. When they pulled it out, hey, who knows? The samta. And you shall place. Et is the definite direct object marker. Shetei ha'avanim, another construct chain. Okay, sorry that's happening to you, Betty. You can always select to download it on YouTube also. That way it'll, you go do something else. I mean, not now while it's live, but later. And I allow my videos to all be downloaded if you like. And then you can have it even without internet. You won't have to worry about that. Also, if any of you ever want to snip one of my videos and just play part of it and comment on it on your own, or it is all marked allowed with the YouTube copyright stuff. You are allowed, though I have it set up on YouTube. Anybody can repost them if you like. Post it on your channel, share it somewhere else. That's all allowed. That's fine. Let's get the language stuff out there for the Holy Tongue. Or even the Joshot, even the sermons. Shetei ha'avanim. From Shtayim, two of the. The stones. And because it's definite, it makes the whole chain definite. Well, that's strange. Where's my... Okay. So, because ha is the-ness gets carried over. So we say the two stones. ושמת, and you shall place et shetei ha'avanim, the two stones, or rather two of the stones, pardon me, the two of the stones, al, upon, or with, kitfot ha'ephod, another construct chain. And again, we have a definite article here, ha, and since that last word, the word who's not in construct, he's just at the end of the construct chain, because he's definite, the whole chain gets definite. Carrying his V to the other word. And the kotafot, it's like the shoulders to the shoulder blades part of it, of the ha-ephod, of the ephod. Gary says, I missed most of the paleo discussion, but it's like riding a taxi in Bangkok, sounding out the Thai characters to read McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King. The Thai script adds nothing. Right. That's a good point. Yeah, nice analogy. True. Although I will say, when I was learning to read Arabic, or relearning, I remember I went to Dubai from Ukraine. They had the Crazy Fridays ticket sales. You could fly out on early Friday and stay the weekend and come back for $100 round trip to Dubai from Kyiv. And so I thought, I'd like to be able to read Arabic again. So maybe many years before that, I'd learned the alphabet, but never really could read it. And so I started studying it, and I flew out there, and I gotta say, I kind of got a kick out of seeing like Starbucks written with Arabic and McDonald's and all that stuff in Arabic script. But you're right, it added nothing, except it was more beautiful. Yeah, you could transliterate the Hebrew into Arabic characters, right? Wouldn't add anything, wouldn't take away. All right. Avnei zikaron. From avanim, we drop the mem. So stones of zikaron, remembrance. Livnei Yisrael. Another construct chain. They are just all over the place. See why I like to mark these? I hope it will become second nature and you guys just see words together and you realize, oh, it's a construct. It's a construct. It's a construct. It's a construct. Over and over. Okay, so the lamed means two, as in belonging to. Banim, children or sons. Drop the mem. Benei, in this case, livnei, to the children of, or the sons of, Yisrael, Israel. And of course, because Israel is definite, its the-ness goes over here. That's why I say, the sons of Israel. In this case, it is sons, because we know about the stones. V'nasa Aharon et shemotam. Et shemotam. Nasa, we remember Nasa, right? Think of NASA carrying stuff, so that's carry or lift. Carry. Nasa, Aharon means Aaron carried. But then we have our vav, conversive, changing the aspect. Then Nasa Aharon, and Aaron will carry, or will lift. Et, we don't translate. Shemot is names. The names of their names. 9. Whoa, what happened? That was bizarre. Ah! And we're back. Okay. Oi. My tool stopped working. Jan. No problem. We will use what colors are available. Select it manually. Hey, we got yellow. That's what I needed. Yeah, so that other software bombed now. What in the? It's almost. If I didn't know better, I'd almost think something is poking its way through that memory address manually. Oh, and where are you guys at? Where'd your window go? There we are. Yay. Oh, thanks, Harrison. Yeah, Harrison says the markings are really helpful, especially when we revisit these lessons. Well, it's over the years. We've evolved. Actually, I don't like using that word. We've developed better. Yeah, Baruch Hashem. I don't like saying evolve when I can help it because I think it's part of the social hypnosis into making people think it's just normal to assume evolution. Okay. Then Aaron, or so Aaron, shall lift up Shemotam, the names of them. And again, oh man, I can't get cyan now. I mean, not cyan, but aqua. I can't select aqua. I don't think it's one of the built-in colors. Oh, that is so annoying. I want my colors. Okay, I'm going to try something. Let's see. See if I can get this back. Give me a second, folks. If you have any comments or questions, now's a good time to ask them. Let's see if I can get the old loop deck rolling again. Boom. Maybe I can manually put it into PowerPoint mode. Oh, there we go. It's working. It's working. Aqua, let's try. I think we jump-started it. Let's see. Yeah, baby. Yeah, there we go. So technically, when you put a suffix on a word, that word is in the construct. What you're saying is in Hebrew is the names of them, right? That just sounds horrible in English for us. It's fine in Hebrew, but for us, it's horrible. So we don't say that. But that's what the language is doing. And if it helps you, sometimes this does help people to think like this. When they're looking at the Hebrew, just be hyper-literal, the names of them, right? Roshi, head of me. Roshi, that's fine. Until you're comfortable, then you can just put it in normal English or normal Espanol or como se dice, whatever your idioma is. That'd be fine. Hey, thank you for the interceding. Yes, I was wrong. It was aqua, but sure. Maybe it is kind of more cyan. I don't know. Some of these weirder colors I'm not so good at identifying. This pretty one. I like this pretty one. I think I told you when I was putting together, manipulating the script colors to try to get these colors, they don't work logically when you connect to the interface for PowerPoint. It's not, some of them are RGB, right? Like you would expect. Others are backwards RGB. Others are just like, who knows what is going on? I thought maybe CYM or whatever. No. So I just started like all night one night up until like 5 a.m. I was just trying out different numbers and seeing what colors I got. It kind of reminded me as a kid with my Commodore VIC-20 computer. I would just poke values into random memory locations to see what it did, and it's like so cool. Like, and then I write down the night. Oh, that one was cool. Like, you get 5 cursors blinking. You're just crashing the system, but it was neat, All right, I'm sorry. Got off mark there. What time is it? Where were we? All right, let's finish this verse. Lifnei Adonai. Another construct chain. The word is panim. Drop the mem, benei, or punim in Yiddish, right? Benei, face of or presence of Adonai, and because Adonai is a name, he's definite. So he transfers that definiteness, the the-ness, over here. That's the. And here we have a inseparable preposition. To. I wasn't going to color it all, but it kind of bled over and I'm forced to. I'm committed now. To the presence of Adonai, or before Adonai. Lifnei together oftentimes just means before. Before Adonai. Al, with, shetei, chetei 5, lezikaron. Another construct chain. And you'll notice it's actually shetei, chetei 5. That vav is a pronominal suffix. His, or really its in this case. So what we have here, you can't see it there. Okay, there. What we have here is shetayim became shtei, so the two of chetei 5, so that was from up above we saw, I think we had it up above, where was that? Okay, no, this one's different, okay. So, this is the shoulder and just the top of your back, right? Those parts of it. So it's two parts, kind of hard to bring that into English, like upper back shoulder part. Harrison says, oh my gosh, way back in the day we used to program in BASIC on Commodore 64. Yeah, I was dreaming of a Commodore 64. Dreaming of it. My mother got a Commodore VIC-20 by going to a timeshare all day long thing where you sit there and they try to sell you basically vacation property that you pay for the rest of your life. I don't know how it works. Maybe it's a good deal, maybe not. But, we're kind of, I don't know how they selected us. I think it was Hashem, because there's no way we could afford a timeshare. And then the prize was a Commodore VIC-20. So that was my computer. Yeah. So, and I just thought that the way you use computers was programming them in BASIC, because the user manual, that's what it was. It just taught you how to program. That's how you use computers, I thought. We lived out in the woods at that time, no longer in the projects. And and then, but you could also put assembly language in there. You could do assembly. You could dump values in registers and stuff and into locations. I didn't know that's what it was. To me, it was just a game, just dropping numbers in the, kid, 8-year-old. Anyway. But yeah, later, after Boy Scout camp, I saved up and bought a 128, Commodore 128D. D because it had a floppy disk drive. Ooh. Yeah, shoulder blades. Thank you, Harrison. Le zikaron, for a remembrance, for a memorial. And here we have the sotum, so maybe this is a good place to stop, since we're about an hour in anyway. I don't want to make them too long, or people may not want to do them. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here live with me. Have a blessed day or evening, whatever the case may be. So glad you stuck with us, even though we had the plethora of technical issues. But we got our colors back. Look at that. The colors, I really like having the colors. I understand it helps the visual learners a lot. Gary said, oh, yes, the good old days. Once paid $400 for a 4 kilobyte RAM expansion. I love it. My program, I had no way to save my programs, Gary. My mother would say, go to bed. It was just hooked to the TV, right? Probably why I wear glasses. I'm sitting on the floor. I'd put my programs in. I used to make Doctor Who games. So when I turned off the power, that's it. My program was gone. Until like a year later, my grandmother gave me an audio cassette recorder. So then I could record it on audio cassettes. Take like 15 minutes to save your program. All right. Shalom, shalom. You guys have a great one. And I will see you tomorrow.